Welcome back, Captains, to Starfleet Academy Online. I'm your host and instructor, Hale Bohse, and for this episode, we're going to be going over the R&D. All right, so the most basic thing you can learn about R&D is where to access it, and that is research and development. So if you look at the bottom of your mini map interface, there is a button with the three heads. Click it. It's the same one you used for your duty officers. And if you look at the top there, there's an R&D tab that's going to be like really important for you to take advantage of, especially when you're starting off in the game. Now, I know we haven't talked a lot about builds yet, but when you finally decide on what type of weapons that you're going to be using for your build, whether that be torpedoes, beams, cannons, whatever, you're going to want to start your R&D in that particular area like right away and just start progressing. And the way to do that, if you go ahead and select one, like let's say you were going to do a beam build, right? You can go ahead and select that beams, and if you scroll down to the very end, a lot of time there's a research project in beam technology that you can take advantage of. If you do that particular mission, that'll give you 6,000 XP, and if you notice, if you go down the list, that's a lot considering the type of XP that's available to you otherwise. You can get as much as 12,000 XP for a single thing, but sometimes that takes as much as 20 hours and a lot of expensive resources to get that done. So this is a way to get a lot of experience and not spend a lot of resources. As you notice, this particular one only costs 1 duranium, which is pretty easy to get a hold of and really cheap for that kind of experience. So we do that a lot, and you can only do 3 R&Ds for each of these specializations at any one time. So I have, if you notice when I select, I have 6 slots here that I can utilize. So if I click beams, and I can do this as much as 3 times, and instead of getting 6,000, now I'm going to get 18,000 experience in my beams to help level up that particular specialization in R&D. So that's pretty cool, but I can only do 3 of any one at a time. So if, let's say I'm doing beams, but I also am a science build, and so maybe shields are really important to me, or science in particular, there's something I'm after. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with science. And voila, that's how you begin those research and development missions. It's pretty easy and straightforward. You're going to be sending one of your people to actually be doing this, one of your duty officers to actually do these missions. So you will be using up a duty officer, but it's minimal as far as the impact on your other duty officer missions, so don't worry about it there. You can also speed up your progress by using dilithium, but I do not recommend that under virtually any circumstances. It is so expensive, and dilithium is one of the most important resources in the game. So don't waste your time with that most of the time. Do it, just bite the bullet, go the slow route. You'll be much happier in the end. You can only take any of these individual specializations up to 20. So keep that in mind when you're doing R&D missions, that they only go up to 20, and that will be the max effectiveness that you can be in any of those specializations, which for beams, for example, can do omnidirectional phasers. You can do stuff like phaser beam arrays, or you can even do dual beams and energy amplifiers, which will all be useful for your builds later on. So this is why it's an important thing. Another thing that you can take advantage of in R&D is officer training manuals. You'll notice that you have specialization qualifications for your individual duty officers. We'll explain more about that later, but I just wanted you to see that this is where you would create those command pads. And then we also have a special project to even create special upgrades that'll later be able to increase the quality chance of increasing the quality of an item when it comes to upgrades, but we'll explain more about that in a future video about upgrades. So there you have it. That's the R&D tab for right now. That's the basics that you're going to need to know. If you like the content that you saw today, please make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. If you want more great content, keep tuning in. Thanks once again for being with us today, and remember, boldly go.
Legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming? legends never die. They become a part of you.